So finally, after a full year of waiting, the Cyberpunk Collab is finally here, with Lucy and Rebecca officially joining the party. And you know what? I'm actually a huge fan of the franchise, so I pulled right away without a second thought, and I can't wait to show you what they are capable of for you guys. That being said, being a fan and being meta are two completely different things, so is Lucy worth pulling if you're not a Cyberpunk fan? And more importantly, how strong is she for free-to-play players? Well, we're about to find out, so let's get straight into the showcase. Oh, by the way, just before you start pulling, there are a few things you should really know, otherwise these event banners will absolutely scam you if you're not careful. Seriously. Now first of all, event banners are totally separate from the normal banners, so not only does your PT start at 0, but all PT disappears when the banner ends, and so does any unused red event pools and colors, as none of them will convert to the normal currency by the end. So to avoid wasting pools, please don't be like me and pull Lucy on day 1. Instead, wait until you have claimed all the login rewards first, and then trade any colors you get for the event pools before actually spending any strikes. And if you're planning to get the signature weapon, you should actually pull that first before going for the character, since the milestone rewards only give red balls, which can't be used on the weapon banner. Lastly, since the PD doesn't carry over, you should really avoid doing 10 consecutive pulls, otherwise if you get an early 5-star halfway through, every strike you spent after that is completely waste. So yeah, honestly all this rules reminds me of Enfield banners, and I still can't believe how tedious that system is. It's ridiculous. By the way, this is just my opinion, but the free sequence at 160 pulls feels like a massive bait, because both Lucy and Rebecca has a really underwhelming S1. Honestly, its real value is getting one step closer to Lucy's S2 and S3, and that's not free to play friendly at all. It's all business in the end, I guess. Anyway, that's pretty much everything about the banners, and hopefully you saw this before getting scammed. Alright, with the banners settled, let's move on to my free-to-play build. You see the new standard 5-star pistol, the Phasic Homogenizer on Lucy, and the older one Static Mist on Rebecca. By the way, normally this pistol is just as good as signature for any pistol main DPS, but unfortunately that's not the case for Lucy at all. I mean, just look at its stats, it gives way more buffs than all other signatures. So in reality, she's actually one of the most signature reliable main DPS in this game, right alongside Prova and Khadija. Meanwhile, thankfully Rebecca works perfectly fine with Static Mist, so you can safely skip her signature and save yourself some pulls. Now moving on to the echoes, since the C4 Adam Smasher is a one-piece set, you're free to run whatever 2+2 setup you like. So personally I chose the double spectral on Lucy, and Moonlit plus Lingering Tunes on Rebecca, simply because I got a lot of echo reserves for these sets. Lastly for the talents, well, the game's already marked them out for you, so just follow that and you'll be fine. I personally messed out everything for Lucy, not just because I'm a huge fan, but also because I wanted to show you her peak free-to-play performance. And that's about everything for my build, so let's learn how to play. Alright, so it's almost a tradition at this point, as pretty much all the new characters comes with skill descriptions that look at the novel, which is a pain to read, let alone understand. So I'll do the suffering for you, and skip straight to the important part of what buttons you actually need to place in her rotation. So let's begin. First, press E twice, and spam the basic attacks until the purple bar is full. Next, use the special skill with first person view. Then spam the basic attack again until the red bar is full. Use the special heavy attack, and finally ends with a liberation to attack our opponent. And as for the effects, honestly just pick the first 5, as they are the most useful and impactful ones. And that's all. That said, the rotation is actually fairly long, so you need some practice to keep it under 14 seconds, which is how long Rebecca's buff lasts. Alright, now in case you are interested, here's some trivia about her kit that's good to know. First of all, Lucy actually has a pretty interesting passive. Every time she defeats a cost 4 boss, she gains a damage buff up to 25% L damage for 2 bosses, which is pretty useful if farming the cost 4 echoes, while also providing some value in the tower and matrix challenge. Now another interesting fact is that Lucy's hack literally works the same as True Strength and Archer, with the only real difference being the name. but unfortunately that matters a lot, as it won't trigger any effects related to tune shift and rupture, especially Moni's damage buff. So yeah, unless you have S0R0 money, there's really no reason to play her with Lucy at all. Finally, you probably noticed this already, but Lucy doesn't actually need Rebecca for her kit to work. That means if a better support comes along in the future, something like a heavy attack relay, then she'll have no problem trading out Rebecca. Just saying. Alright, so this is basically everything about Lucy, so let's move on to her partner, Rebecca. And you know what? She's actually a little bit tricky to play, and you'll likely miss out a lot if you don't know her rotation. But don't worry, I'm here to help. Now the very first thing to do is ignore her skill, as it serves no purpose other than messing out your rotation. Seriously. So instead, you should always start with an intro and spawn the basic attack until the purple bar is full. Next, use a special heavy attack, then follow up with her duration, and that's all. Spam the attack button until the animation is over, then you're free to switch Lucy and start her rotation. Alright, since Rebecca is Lucy's best partner and she's available for free, there's really no point running other support. So for the third slot, I'll be using Showkeeper for this showcase. That said, my Lucy actually ended up at 105% crit rate, which is not optimal, so if you're using Showkeeper as well, please farm for crit damage cost 4 instead of crit rate. Alright, so this may come as a surprise, but I almost cleared the tower mid-3 with this free-to-play setup, and that's with all the harsh tower debuffs. So yeah, this should prove that free-to-play Lucy is not cool at all. If anything, I would say it's borderline broken, considering how cost-effective her team is. And considering her signature is arguably one of the best weapons in this game, I genuinely believe she can comfortably clear mid-3 and even before with it, which is something no other teams can do at such a low cost. By the way, in case you were wondering why I couldn't beat the 4th floor, yeah, that's why. The bosses in this floor are so obnoxious that it's borderline impossible to complete your rotation properly against them. And sure, you could call that she's weak against flying and mobile enemies, but let's be real, who isn't? What teams actually enjoy fighting this? Everyone hates them. And whoever decided to put both of them in the same chamber was just pure evil. So I'm not gonna judge any team with this chamber. Absolutely not. Anyway, the last chamber I tried was the Light 4, and just as you'd probably expect, it was a complete stomp. So honestly, even if you can't afford her signature, S0R0 Lucy is still an excellent pull. She's not worse than any version 2.0 main DPS. Alright, now as for the Wimpling West, I wouldn't say it's weak and unplayable, but it's quite obvious she's not meant for this mode. Too much of her damage is packed into the final hacking nuke, just like Amy. Besides, since the team is heavily related to head shifting, it's hard to benefit from the gold token in the future, and maybe even purple token as well. Alright, so finally, in conclusion, it's Lucy worth pulling if you're not a Cyberpunk fan. Just from my experience so far, absolutely! Lucy is an absolute steal for free-to-play players, offering some of the best pool value we have ever seen, thanks to the backup being free, all the free pools, and the milestone rewards. Sure, her damage might not reach the level of fully optimized 3.0 teams, but considering they all require very specific teammate just to work properly, which costs us a lot more, it's honestly ridiculous Lucy's comparable to them. Besides, she gives you everything you need right from the start. Pull Lucy, claim the backup free, and you're basically good to go. That's what makes her special, and it's even better if you can afford her signature. Anyway, that's my take on free-to-play Lucy. So what do you guys think? Are you going to pull her 10 days later? Please let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.